Real talk for real men. This is an outlet for men with Rocky C. Let's talk about something uncomfortable but honest. Why do so many men feel like they have to sleep with as many women as possible to feel like a man? Is it confidence, ego, or a mask for something deeper like fear, shame, or performance insecurity? From locker rooms to lyrics, young men are taught early your worth equals your body count. It's cultural, generational, and reinforced through media, porn, social media, movies. They glorify conquest while rarely discussing intimacy or respect. But it's deeper than just bravado. For many men, this behavior is a way to chase validation or avoid emotional vulnerability. Some were never shown healthy affection. Others internalize that sex is the only place they feel powerful or wanted. Some of this starts early. Boys who are told don't cry or man up are often denied space to express anything other than aggression or desire. They aren't taught how to process pain, how to feel seen without having to perform. So sex becomes a go-to. It's the one area where they believe they can earn praise, attention, even love. In certain peer groups, a man's worth is openly measured by how many women he has gotten. If you're not sleeping with someone, you're mocked. If you're not chasing, you're seen as weak. This constant peer validation loop can cause men into performative, even compulsive sexual behavior. Not because they want to, because they're afraid of what it means if they don't. And here's the twist. Some men who feel inadequate in bed, whether from lack of experience, anxiety, or even physical challenges, double down on quantity as a way to hide that insecurity. If they feel they can't perform well, they try to perform often. Sex in this context becomes less about connection and more about escaping the fear of being seen as less than. Men rarely talk about the emotional hangover that comes with meaningless sex. Shame, disconnection, guilt. It can leave a man feeling emptier than before. And when your masculinity is tied to conquest, you never feel like enough. Some men become addicted to the chase but hate the silence afterward. Others lose the ability to perform genuine intimacy or trust. Relationships break down, emotional isolation increases. It's like drinking salt water when you're thirsty. It looks like a solution, but only makes you more dehydrated. This pressure doesn't exist in a vacuum. Friends and family can reinforce or challenge it. Some men are praised at family gatherings for being players, or encouraged by older male relatives to keep chasing. Others feel unseen or emasculated if they aren't in a relationship, or if they choose emotional connection over casual sex. But there's also supportive family and friends who challenge the narrative, who say, you don't have to prove anything to us. Having even one voice like that can start a healing process. It gives men permission to choose differently, to value emotional intimacy over conquest, and to slow down and reflect. So how do we rewrite this script? First, we stop tying our masculinity to our numbers. Your body count doesn't prove your strength. It doesn't prove your value. In fact, chasing validation through sex often points to pain that hasn't been acknowledged. True sexual confidence starts with self-awareness, not performance. It's about knowing what you want, being honest with your partner, and having the courage to say no when something doesn't align with your values or emotions. A man who knows himself is more powerful than a man who just knows how to seduce. We also need to create space for men to talk openly about performance anxiety, erectile dysfunction, and insecurity in bed, topics that are still taboo. These things affect real relationships, and pretend they don't exist only worsens the shame. Instead of hiding or overcompensating, we face the root issues: low self-worth, lack of emotional connection, unhealed trauma, and the fear of not being enough. When we deal with those things, our approach to sex changes. It becomes less about pressure and more about presence, less about control, more about connection, less about being the man, more about being a human. Men's groups, therapy, journaling, and honest conversation with trusted brothers can all help reset the narrative. And this isn't about becoming a celibate or ashamed of sex. It's about reclaiming it as something meaningful, intentional, and healing. Sex should be a choice, not a compulsion. If this hit home, take a breath, reflect, talk to someone. And if you're carrying shame or confusion about sex or identity, reach out. You deserve to feel whole, not just desired. Leave a comment below or DM me at An Outlet for Men on Instagram or find me on YouTube. Subscribe, share, start the conversation. This is how we grow. And if you need deeper support, don't hesitate to seek professional help. You deserve healing, not hiding. This is An Outlet for Men. See you next episode.